Okay. So I gotta think about what the first one is.
We got to take our smiling picture first.
Oh yeah, thanks. So have you guys ever wondered what qualifies you for a jumbo loan and should you get one? I, I don't know. I haven't supposed to go. Okay. So have you guys ever wondered what a jumbo loan is and what are some of the requirements for it? Today, we're going to cover exactly what a jumbo is and how you can qualify. Welcome to another episode of Let's Get Real. So I'm Lisa Bibby with Keller Williams, and today I'm sitting down with Corey Phelps from Front Street Mortgage. Welcome, Corey.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me on today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I get a lot of questions about jumbo loans and how do we qualify and how do they differ. So let's just kind of dive right into this. What exactly is a jumbo loan and what qualifies the maximum amount? Actually, hold on. So what exactly is a jumbo loan?
Great question, Lisa. So depending on where you're at in the country, but in most parts of the country, it means a mortgage greater than 647,200. So I know that's kind of an odd number, but that's the number that the government's assigned to that. But any mortgages that are at that level or above, that would be considered a quote jumbo loan.
It's also considered a non-conforming loan. So can you go into a little bit more about that?
Really, what makes it a non-conforming is basically just the stop. Let's hold on.
Okay, start. I know I just kind of threw that one, but I was like, wait,
Yeah,
I want to
because
ask you too.
well, because it's really not. Like I call it a conventional mortgage. So
Okay.
the non-conforming part of it's really just the loan amount. But what they typically think of as a non-conforming is like condos that don't work, or not
Okay.
some form of something that's real weird.
Then let's skip it.
So yeah.
And why do I look like a ghost? This is so weird. The lighting is like
Oh,
I'm ghost-like. Anyways, okay. So thanks, Corey. And what exactly? Thanks, Corey. So what is required for a minimum down payment with a jumbo loan?
great question, Lisa. So just like a traditional non-jumbo loan, typically clients are trying to put down at least 20%. In the jumbo market, that becomes even more important because there's very few lending options at loan to values greater than 80% or putting down less than 20%. So they definitely want to at least do 20%. Ideally, if they can put down 25%, that's going to get a much better pricing.
So it's good to hear if you can put more down, you're going to get a better rate. So do you typically see 25% down when people are applying for a jumbo loan?
I see both, Lisa. I would say more than 50% of the time, it's probably just 20% down. That's a large dollar figure, but oftentimes if it's more than that, the people are maybe even putting 30 or 40% down. So it just kind of depends.
So what is the minimum credit score you need to qualify for a jumbo loan?
Depending on the program, 700 and higher is typically where you're going to be for that jumbo loan product. But there are some lenders out there that will do 680 and above.
And what is the max DTI, debt to income ratio, that a buyer needs in order to qualify for a jumbo loan?
Lisa, those parallel a non-jumbo loan, typically we don't want to see debt to income ratios higher than 41%. They will allow up to 45% in certain cases, but typically that client is going to stay at that 41% or below.
So we often talk about needing reserves for funds when you're applying for a jumbo loan. What is the minimum financial reserve that you should have on hand when applying for a jumbo loan?
To generalize, as far as that reserve rule would go, typically the client wants to have at least a 6 months reserve of any real estate payments. So if that's going to be on this house or this house plus an investment property plus another home they have, all of those in all of those properties, they need to have typically a 6 month reserve.
Now, you often hear with jumbo loans that they could have two appraisals that are needed. What do you see? Actually, let me see. So we often hear that two appraisals are needed for jumbo loans. How often does this occur?
That's a really great question. Primarily, you're going to have a need for two appraisals when the loan amount is higher than $1 million. Now, there are certain lending scenarios that will still require that, and some that are above $1 million that won't require it. But in general, if the loan amount is higher than $1 million, you're typically going to have two appraisals required.
And I think that's a good idea because with an appraisal, it is one person's opinion and that speck of time. So having a second appraisal is often good for both you as well as the lender. Now, when you're applying for a jumbo loan, are the interest rates higher than a typical conventional loan?
Lisa, in the past, that has been true that jumbo loans were much higher in interest rate than a normal conventional mortgage. That is really not true, at least these days. There recent examples, interest rates haven't been any higher than on a non-jumbo loan. And there are some different options that are out there as well, as far as some ARM products, adjustable rates and things of that nature. But really, people can get a really nice 30-year or 15-year fixed rate on a jumbo with no problem these days.
Well, that's really great to hear. And if you guys have any more questions about jumbo loans or looking to get pre-approved for one, feel free to reach out and give us a call. Our contact information is in the description below. Thank you so much, Corey, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on, Lisa. It was always a pleasure.
Okay, and then I want to do real quick. So if you guys like this information and find it valuable, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment. We'd love to hear any comments that you have about jumbo loans. I don't know where I was going with that. So if you find this information valuable, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment. We really appreciate all your support, and we love bringing you valuable information that you can use when you're purchasing your next home. Okay, cool.
I think we need to redo my answer for, I think it was question 1.
What is a jumbo loan?
Yep, because I think it got weird at the end.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So Corey, Corey, or I don't need to redo my question. You can just go ahead and do yours.
Your question was basically just what makes a loan a jumbo loan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What qualifies as a jumbo loan?
Sure. Thanks for asking, Lisa. A jumbo loan in general is a loan in the United States that's above $647,200. Kind of an odd number, but that's the one that the government chose. In certain areas, there are what's called high cost areas, but in general, that is the limit. So it's any loan that is above that size.
Okay, and I want to ask a question on that. Did that recently change?
It changes every year.
Yeah.
Or it has. It was the same for a long time. And that was down in that 400 and some $1,000 range. And then it went up to 500 and some. And then now this year it's up to that.
Okay, so I do want to kind of touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
So with jumbo loans, we've noticed that the amount has actually gone up over the recent years. So when was the last change that just took place, and for how much is the difference?
Well, it's a great question. So let me grab that real quick for us, okay?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. I don't know if there's a better way. I can ask that better, but yeah, if you can be prepared.
No. So it's 647.2, and then previously it was for 21, it was.
And you said they started at
548. Yeah, it's 548,250.
Okay.
So,
and it used to be 450.
548,250. Yeah, it used to be 417 for like ever. It was like,
okay.
It was 417 and change.
Well, let me redo that question, and then that way you'll be prepared for the answer.
Hang on, let me see. Let me get you that number. It was 47. Because then it was 484. They've increased it basically a little bit each year, but just by like 20, 30 grand. But this past year was a big jump.
Okay.
So
let me know when you're ready.
One moment.
God, why am I?
Yeah, it's a
so,
100
like-
grand. It's basically 100 grand difference, 99,000.
So what was it a couple of years ago? 417?
No, it was 50. It's basically gone up by maybe 20, 30 grand, but this last year it was a $99,000 increase.
Yeah, it went from 548, but previously it was 417, you said?
No, the year before that was like 500 and
Well, what was it that for a long time the jumbo loan stayed at that number?
Yeah, it was 417,000. I don't even think there was any change to it.
Okay. So I want to have a discussion around that.
Yeah. I think it was up until 18. No. So in 2016, that's when it was. So it's 417,000 for like ever.
Okay.
And in 2016, after that, they've continued to raise it like 20, 30 grand a year. But this last year, it was $99,000 difference.
Okay. So let's have a little conversation around that now that we know the numbers.
Okay.
Okay. So it's really fascinating about jumbo loans is that they were for 417,000 was what qualified you for a jumbo loan for years. And in the past few years, they've incrementally increased that amount. So can you tell us a little bit more about how much that amount has gone up just even in the last year?
Thanks, Lisa. The federal government realized around 2016 that they had to increase those based on home prices and where they were going. So in 2016, they did raise them. They've raised them incrementally about 20, 30,000 every year since then. But really take notice of the last year from 21 to 22, it actually increased $99,000. So that is a lot of homes that would now be able to qualify, under conforming loan limits and that aren't jumbo. So again, talk to your loan officer, see which way is best, because like I said before, the jumbo rates and the conforming rates really have not been much different. So there is always a strategy there that might make one better than the other.
So what is an advantage to applying for a jumbo loan versus a typical conventional loan?
Well, depending on the situation, Lisa, it could be either that the folks don't want to or don't have more money to put down on the property. So simply by sales price and then the amount of money they have, by default, it may leave them with a loan amount above 647, 250. But with that being said, there typically in the past, jumbo rates have had a little bit, or jumbo mortgages have had a little bit higher rates.
Oh.
Now that is not the case. Let's start over again.
As I say, there's some dinging, beeping going on in the background. Is that your phone?
Yeah, it was my phone that had gone off. So, okay.
What are the advantages of
Advantages.
applying for jumbo versus conventional?
Thanks, Lisa. The advantages of jumbo loan versus conventional could be that it keeps more of the client's assets in their pocket, less of a down payment, and with the interest rates being not much different on one versus the other nowadays, it really is all about talking strategy with your loan officer.
Perfect. Okay, I think we got it right before that.
My wife, she's called twice. Do you think we're good?
I think we're good. Go ahead and answer.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
bye.